Now, please tell me you can hear now. Check 1 2. Okay, that looks like that was working. Let me see if I can go back to this other thing. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. I need my voice to be a little louder. Check 1 2. I was wondering where the input sensor was. I couldn't figure out how to make that work. Probably because it wasn't working. So anyway, thanks so much for.
Please tell me you can hear
There we
now.
go. Good deal.
Check 1
So
2.
the live is working.
Okay, that looks like that was working.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pause this so that we won't be using bandwidth to watch it. So, as I was saying, it's been great to be out here today. Now everybody that's dropped off, you good fans have remained. Hopefully that won't be a problem next time. That's very annoying. But anyway, out here on this lovely day outside, it's a beautiful fall day. I'm so glad fall is finally here, and I'm ready for it. Ready to get out here and do some more bluegrass picking, more picking on the porch, all that good stuff. So I can tell it's lagging a little bit. I hope that won't be a bad experience for everybody. It says I've got full signal here, and it's just, I guess, just pulling from whatever here. Hopefully everything's going all right. I guess what I could do is just go back to the main page on my YouTube page, and that way it won't be kind of paused. So hopefully that'll work. But anyway, today, Bryan, if you're watching this, Bryan Sutton, if you're watching this, you're the man. I shouted out to him on Instagram, and hopefully he's watching this or will watch this later and approve of this. Definitely go check him out. I'm using my Martin DCX 1E, as I was saying earlier, and you couldn't hear me. This is, I've had this guitar for probably 8 years or so, something like that. Maybe even, well, probably close to 10. It was about 2000, maybe longer than that. I don't remember exactly when I got this. But anyway, they still make the Martin DCXs. I don't think it's the same exact model as this with the cutaway. They have one, but it's not called a DCX 1E anymore. It's something else. But I've got all kinds of links in the bottom in the description below of the different gear and everything that I recommend. So you definitely want to check that out. Today we're going to be studying what I would think is an infamous solo of Bryan Sutton in the song "Think of What You've Done," which was on the album Bluegrass Rules by Ricky Skaggs and Kentucky Thunder. And what got me to wanting to do this, number one, is I've been wanting to get out and kind of get better at my own playing, right? You do so many licks, you play so many solos, and you kind of get bored and you want something different. So what I've been wanting to do is try to get this to work where I can start learning other people's solos and adding more licks. You can never have enough licks. I want to add more licks to my own playing so that I can use it in the Gilbert family and different things like that. So that's my purpose here today, is to try to learn this and try to kind of go step by step through it with you. And what got me to doing this also was that the Gilbert family and I recently went to the Sparta County, the White County Fairgrounds, and we played there. And so when we were at the White County Fairgrounds, it was the gospel night that they were kind of showcasing. And the sound man was playing some different bluegrass and bluegrass gospel and different things like that. And one of the songs that came on was "Think of What You've Done" on the album Bluegrass Rules by Ricky Skaggs and Kentucky Thunder. Now, Bryan was on that album, and that's kind of when he came to the forefront, is when he was playing with Ricky Skaggs and Kentucky Thunder. And that's when I found out about him. I had it on cassette. I remember, I've told this story before, but I remember going outside mowing the lawn when I was about 15 or so, hearing Bryan Sutton on that whole album, and I wore that album out. I was out there mowing the lawn, and whenever I mow the lawn, I'd always put my Walkman on so I could pass the time. And what I would listen to was bluegrass all the time. Bluegrass gospel, different things like that. But he was also on the album Ancient Tones, after which he kind of blew up and went, doing studio work, playing guest appearances, playing his own shows, I guess. And now he's kind of a solo artist and still plays with other people. But anyway, that really got me curious as to play this song, because I heard it so many times and I always wanted to learn it. But I wasn't really ready to learn it, to be honest with you. But now I'm at the point where I can do it. I actually sat down probably 2 weeks ago. I've been wanting to do this, a live stream. And I sat down about 2 weeks ago and tabbed the whole thing out. I transcribed it. And I've always heard that if you transcribe something, you'll learn it better and you'll understand it better. And I found that to be the case with me. I'd like to do a lot more of these transcriptions. Matter of fact, there's a channel on here that does bluegrass transcriptions. If you'll do a search for bluegrass transcriptions or transcribing bluegrass, I've recently found his channel. I can't remember his name, and I don't want to spend time looking it up. But he does all kinds of transcriptions of bluegrass solos. And he's got his own channel doing that. He does Bryan Sutton's stuff. He does Tony Rice's, Billy Strings, all that stuff. He does a lot of those. And he's kind of got like a a shaved haircut with kind of a lot of hair up here. He's got a goatee. He wears glasses. He's about my build. So, and he plays some good bluegrass too. What I'll do is I'll probably look it up and put it in the description of what that channel is, or give him a shout out in the cards or something. He definitely deserves to be shouted out. But anyway, he gave me I got this idea from watching him. Why not just do my own transcription video? And that way I can learn more myself about some of Bryan's licks. Now, I've got Bryan's Secrets to Successful Flat Picking DVD. It's awesome, from Homespun. I also advocate you support him on Artist Works. If you want to learn directly from Bryan, that's where you go. Artistworks.com. Bryan's got his own full-length bluegrass program there, and you can learn all kinds of things from there. But enough talk. Let's get into the actual lesson. So what I'm going to do before I forget is bend this down so that you can see my hands. I know this is a little bit skippy and jittery. Please bear with me on that. And what I'm going to do is the tabs will be available. If you can see the link down here. My site is ericbeatty.com. If you go to /courses, you can see the latest courses I've just released. I've got 3 bluegrass courses, 3 separate bluegrass courses that teach you the ins and outs of bluegrass, okay? My most popular one, and the one I advocate the most, starting with, if you're not a complete beginner, is Bluegrass Guitar Essentials. That will show you everything you need to know of learning bluegrass guitar from me. Okay, the advanced stuff, I've got one called Bluegrass Guitar Arpeggios, and for the beginner who's just starting out on bluegrass, it's beginner bluegrass guitar. Okay, my latest course is the Creative Guitarist, and if you want that course, it is on sale right now through the end of September for 50% off, half off the course. If you use the code TCG, which stands for the Creative Guitarist, TCG 50 off during your during the checkout. Use that code, put it in, and you'll get the course for 50% off. It's an online course only for right now. I don't know if I'll make it into a DVD or anything like that later. But to find that, go to ericbeatty.com/TCG, okay? ericbeatty.com/TCG. All right, and you can also go to that courses there, and it's on there, so you'll see it on there. Also, that other hashtag or that other slash is for tabs. These tabs will be available for completely free to download once I'm done with this video. I'll get on there, put this URL for this YouTube video on there, and make any kind of tweaks that I might need to make, and then upload that to the website that I've got there, ericbeatty.com/tabs. And once again, you can download it completely free. All right, so 12 minutes in, enough rambling. Let's get into this. Feel free to chat if you want to. That's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and enable my screen here, my screen share, and put it on, I think it was this one. Yeah. Shift that over. I'd rather it be on that side. And hopefully you guys can see this. There's somebody watching, so tell me if you can see this just fine. I'm going to pull up my tabs, and you should be able to see these tabs here, okay? So the way this works, I've got Guitar Pro here, and I'm going to make the PDF and the Guitar Pro and the audio files, all that stuff for free, okay? I can't charge for this because it's not mine, intellectual property. But I'm providing it for free as a tutorial for you guys, all right? So let me know if you can see this. I hope you can. If the tabs are clear and everything like that, whoever's watching, just let me know in the chat. It's kind of hard to get anybody to converse with you when you don't have like one person or two people's in the chat or anything like that. So let me just kind of noodle around here. And let me know if this is clear, if you can see this on the page good. Let me make sure that I've got my guitar in the shot. I wish I could hide the little URL thing down here so you could see everything, but I can't get it to hide. So I'm going to have to pull this down, and I want you guys to see my hands, all right? All right, so hopefully you can see that. We'll just go along with it. Let me just test the sound one more time. Make sure that we are, in fact, coming through loud and clear. I know it's a little skippy, a little jittery, but trust me, it'll be worth it when you see this tab. All right, these tabs are awesome. And it's note for note the best that I could do from just listening. I was just listening to the song. Okay, I didn't have any finger.
One more time. Make sure.
Good deal. I didn't have any finger references or anything like that, so I had no way of knowing what his fingers were doing. I just used my knowledge of bluegrass myself and years of experience, years of playing, and I just used that so that I could understand how to tab these solos out. Okay, for the first half of the song, I didn't even need a guitar because I could recognize some of the shapes in my head from what he was doing. Okay, so if I can get my browser to work for me here, all right, hopefully that'll be all right. Okay, good deal. Okay, so we'll go back to the tabs and you'll see what's going on here. All right, so there's the tabs. I'm going to kind of go one line at a time. I don't want to show all of them because at once because it can just confuse you. All right, so we're just going to go one line at a time. And before we do, let's go ahead and cut on over to the actual video that I got this from, okay? So, yeah, you should be able to see that. And if you'll just look up this Ricky Skaggs, Think of What You've Done, you just pull this up, and you will find it at about the 1 minute and 13 mark, okay? So I'm going to back it up just a little bit before that, and hopefully you can hear this, all right? I'm not sure if you can, but we're going to see if you can. I'm going to play just a little bit of it and then switch back to my live stream to make sure it's coming through.
All this pain and sorrow, darling, think of what you've done.
All right, so let's go back. That might have been inaudible. We're going to go back. Let's hear that one more time. It was kind of low. Here we go. Take it away, Bryan. Okay, so there's that much of the solo, right? And all I did was I went back and forth, and I would play a little bit, back up, play a little bit, back up, slow it down. I'd go over here to the settings and go to the playback speed and put it down to about 0.75, 0.5, and I would listen to it. It took me about 45 minutes to tab this thing out, okay? So that's the video that I was going to. I may reference that too when this is over with. But let's go back to the tabs, and you can kind of see what's going on. First of all, we have Think of What You've Done. That's the solo by Bryan Sutton, Ricky Skaggs and Kentucky Thunder. The link here is going to be this YouTube video, so that's why I haven't uploaded it to the tabs page yet, because I want to be able to put this link in there. And this is just my bluegrass courses, bluegrassguitaressentials.com. You can check that out, and I transcribe these. All right, now I want you to notice this. First thing to notice is this is 252 beats a minute. Okay, so if I put the metronome on and just start this thing, okay, you got a lot of stuff going on. Now, I want this to be louder, so let's try it again. Okay, so we have that. I'm going to put that even louder, all right? Put that volume as far as I can get it. All right, so that's going to have to do. Hopefully you can hear that. If not, trust me, you'll get the tabs later and everything. So we're going to start out. Number one is in 252 beats a minute. Number two, capo is at fret 5. That means this song is in C. Okay, so we're going to go to fret 5, put our capo on, and I'm doing it here because I could recognize by some of the notes that they were in the quote-unquote G shape. Real quick, let me see if you can see that. Okay, you should be able to see this just fine. We'll go down one more. All right, so tabs are a little blurry. All right, so not sure why. Let me see if the only other way to do that would be probably something like this. Where's it at? Here, yeah. Probably something like this. But then I'm really small. So would you rather have it this way and have the tabs a little bigger like that? I mean, I've got it zoomed in. I don't know why they're a little blurry. Probably because it's only 720p, I think, that I'm streaming this in. So is that better, or would you rather have me kind of like full size like this? Cinema style, with me being small, tabs a little bigger, or side by side, tabs a little blurrier, and you can see my hands better. That's about the only two options we got today. So let me know what you think on that. We're going to kind of go, I guess I'll just lay this on the right side with me, because if I go back to the other style, then it's going to put me in the top instead of the bottom. So whatever's on the right, I guess, is what's going to be automatically moved away. So we'll just go with this. Just post in the comments if you want it a little bit different, but I think probably more advantageous to see my hands here. All right, so back to the tabs. Okay, so I've got the tabs laid out. I don't have them like I usually do with the notation and everything on top, because then it becomes a big mess. All right, so I'm just going to leave the tabs like this, and you can tell that this is going to be quarter notes. We've got, or excuse me, eighth notes, quarter notes. Any notes that have a dot, you should be able to see that. There's a 16th note here. Later on, there's dots and stuff like that. The other thing that I have not done, it doesn't look like, is I haven't put pick strokes. So I'm going to have to sit here and work on that before I put on the tabs, because you've got to really see what the pick strokes are doing. I thought I did that, but I must not have. So we're going to try that. All right, so here we go. For now, just watch my hand. Okay, so that's this is a pickup note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1. That's a 1. All right, measure 2 now. Okay, so we're going to slide up. Oh, the other thing I forgot to do is, I mentioned this on one of my videos earlier, is before every solo, I need to actually take and use my finger ease. All right, so I use this. I don't think I've used it on this guitar before, but I need to use it because I can tell these are really sticky. These aren't my usual elixir strings. I'm using a set of Ernie Ball Earthwood Acoustic, I think, but I need to go ahead and spray these down so I can have some sliding ability. Okay, I think this one's, no, it's still some in there. Take that, grab a rag. First of all, take it and wipe it all along the strings, clean them off. These are brand new strings. I just changed them like a week or two ago. I haven't used this guitar since. I've let it just sit in there because I wanted to use it exclusively for this video. All right, so we'll get back down. The tabs still look okay to you guys. Hopefully it does. And we'll begin again. So back in the C, G shape things here. Now, this is the first time I'm doing this, too. I've not even looked at this since I tabbed it, so I don't even know what I'm playing here. And I would leave that open D string ring out. So we're going to leave that finger on there so we can do some little cross-picking things on the open D and G strings. So it goes to the G first. Let's see. Down, up, down, up. So it's not necessarily cross-picking yet because we're not going over a string. See, down, see. Back here, remember we're in the key of C, but we're in this G shape. So that third is being hit quite a bit, and so is that root. We've got to get back down here, and then 2 more of these. Let's see. Let's see. first line. Let's test that out. And I'm going to go ahead and bump this down. This is the advantage of the guitar profiles, people. We bump this down to way slower. So let's see if that's going to be enough. I'm going to turn this metronome off, but I'm going to put the count in on. Let's go a little bit slower, about the same speed I'm trying to play it, about 60 or 50. Okay. So once again, if we see this down here, we got this going on. Now once again, this is not. I've left a note for cross picking, and I kind of assumed that's what it was, but it's not true cross picking. But it is kind of a roll. It's back and forth a lot. That's where it goes. I'm down here now on measure 4. Okay, working our way through this. So let's just go to the top again. Okay, that leads me to here, measure 5. How's everything going on the chat? Hopefully the tabs are doing better. All right. That's the tough part, is I got to get back to that 2. And then we got to go. This is, it looks like for a pretty good 2 or 3 measures. Once we start with that cross picking section, it's always going to be down on the D, up on the G, down on the D, up on the A. And to practice that, what you could do is just hold that third note here, which is actually the E note. I'm not going to even go by note names. I'm not that good at it. But if I'm playing a G, that's where my first finger is. Now I would probably note it with my middle finger here, and so we would practice that down on that D, up on G, back down on D, up on A. And you can kind of get a upward pick slant. In other words, put the pick, your hand up towards you to clear those strings. Two of those, that's sliding to the D, that's noting the D. It's another thing I would like to do. I need to go back and put the actual chords where these change. So these tabs are kind of a rough version. All the notes are there, but the actual little tidbits aren't. You could probably hammer on that too, but I'm just going to do a slide. Is what it sounded like in the song. And then I'm going to go to my middle finger and go to this kind of like this F shape, which is also harnessing the G. Now, that brings us all the way up to here, this slide. So from the beginning, let's see if we can do this. Let me see what the actual phrasing is. Okay, so we got that much. I messed up a couple times, but we're right there. So the next one then, that will bring us to is measure 7. Okay, let's see if you can still see that. Yeah, there we go. Once again, you want to watch my right hand because I don't have the pick strokes on here just yet. So that's what I call. I've got a lesson on this. Is backtracking, and that's going back to a previous phrase. Okay, so got a whole lesson on that here on YouTube as well. Now notice that there's a lot of these. This 16th note here is another one down here. It kind of shows the same thing. That's what it goes by quite fast. Okay, so let's just go back to. And the tricky part here is you want to hit this note again, but what you really want to do is hit the open G and not there. Because that open string, I'll talk about this in my Bluegrass Guitar Essentials course. The open string transitions are really the key to navigating your way around the neck and not feeling locked in a position. That open G allows me to let go and come back down here. Now that one's easy for me, that part. I can do that pretty fast because I've done that before. That's about one of the only familiar things on this. This whole that is kind of different for me. I can kind of see his mindset in that, but it is different. I got to come back to that. I'm going from the 2 to the 3. The 2 all the way up here. But more bluesy, you want to go from the 3rd fret from the capo. Okay, and then this is a classic Bryan Sutton phrase. I'll show you what I mean here right now. See that little bar? That's another what I call a backtracking. Okay. Bryan Sutton does this a lot, especially if he's doing like a C run. He may do it a little bit later. Okay, so now I got that. Well, I originally got that from Clapton. Tony Rice does it a lot too, but I got it from Clapton where he would play blues. Let's see if I'm in this G. Okay, so he's kind of doing that here as well. That's a bar. I'm going to use my middle finger to bar that. Just in case you're lost, I'm right here, measure 8. And there's what I call that 1st fret pull off. Okay, talk about this once again, Bluegrass Guitar Essentials. Picking wise, I'm not sure what I'll do. Right now I'm doing it down, up, and then up again on that G. That may be not G, but I'm just thinking of the G chord. That may be a downstroke when it's over with, though. Okay, so let's go back to this slide here, starting with this 2. This is what I'm kind of stuck at right here. So let's listen to what that's doing. I don't need to count in for there. Start from the side. Okay. It feels to me like a a beat 1. There is a C run there. So far, this is kind of easy. The first part was a little difficult, but it's becoming more familiar to me now. All right, so let's go back to, once again, the top part, this 2 here, and just follow me along. That's the tough part. Now, if you'll notice here, I've got a parentheses on the 0 on this because I wasn't sure if he played it, or to me it sounded like he would have played it. Like maybe the note was missed or muted somehow, and I thought it was the one he intended to play if there was kind of like a mess up or anything like that. So that's what that's for. Just quickly go back to the stream. Nobody's chatting. I got one more viewer. Okay. Let me just make sure the audio's still doing all right.
Nobody's chatting. I got one more viewer.
All right, good deal.
Okay. Let me just make sure that.
Good deal. Good deal. Everything's going really well. Once again, sorry about the kind of like the lagginess here, but hopefully it's still good enough for you can see what's going on. All right, let me go back to where we're at. Back to that slide, top right-hand corner there.